Today could be the last time we score points this season in F1 Manager because, as you guys know, we've been struggling for pace a little bit. We've been working and turning our focus to next season's car with the regulation change. But Singapore should suit our car. The strength of the Aston Martin is low speed, so this could potentially be a very strong episode for us. Maybe not a lot of action, but qualifying is going to be key. That aside, if you haven't seen the last episode, guys, at Monza, go check it out, link in the top right before we jump into spoilers. But we're going to get into the weekend's action and see what happens. Leave a like if you're going to enjoy. Let's try and smash over 700 likes. Subscribe for more, as I want to try and get Season 1 wrapped up and then we'll move into Season 2. And yeah, hopefully you guys are looking forward to it. So let's get into it and let's see what happens. Now for this race, we are going pretty aggressive on the guarantees. So besides the incentives, which are the usual ones, which is Q3, fastest lap and finishing position streak, we have an active qualifying streak, which is 2 out of 3, so we should hopefully achieve 3 out of 3 here today. We've gone ahead and added a finishing position of P15 or above for both drivers. I've actually modified it, so both cars in the top 15 in the race, and also in qualifying, both cars into Q2 and P15 or above. So if we achieve those goals, we're going to make a nice bit of extra cash on the side. So let's see, I'm putting a lot of stock into this weekend. Hopefully not too much stock into it, but I want to try and deliver another good weekend. So let's get to work.
We're here at the Marina Bay Street Circuit and the Singapore Grand Prix is just about to start. The name Singapore means City of Lions, and this weekend Formula One will be roaring into action. The bumpy street surfaces here make this a challenging circuit for the drivers, and the humidity causes them to lose as much as 3 kilos over the course of a race. But it's also tough on the cars, with 23 corners to tackle each and every lap. Good low-speed downforce will make all the difference here. It's been a virtuoso season for Red Bull, and they're about to find out if that's enough to grasp the trophy.
They're facing off against the formidable Ferrari, who won't go down without a fight.
Let's get this underway.
So then, FP1 about to get underway. We're going to go with both drivers. We're not going to run Djokovic in this one, as I want to make sure we maximise everything in practice as much as we possibly can. So both cars on worn components, as we usually do, especially Sebastian, who doesn't have a gearbox in half decent condition. I think he lost his third one, which isn't ideal, but hopefully no failures, no issues. Both drivers on soft tyres. They've got a untested setup, which we're going to find out and see how it feels. 18 laps and also running in conserve modes. So let's get into it and let's get to work. VSC deployed. It's going to crash. Try to find out who it is.
All eyes on Kevin Magnussen here.
So K-Mag into the hairpin, locks up.
Clearly something went very, very wrong there.
Yeah, he locked up. That's what happened, mate.
What a miss.
Copy.
So Seb is not happy at all. 41%, so both drivers on bad. Right, work to do then. We will bring them in and call this stint short. Right, Lance is going to go into the hard tyre now and basically do lots and lots of laps. Setup wise, I think this will point us in the right direction. Traction, I feel my gut feeling is to the other side, which would require a pretty big flip on the setup. So let's see, the rest of the values add up, so this could still work. We're going to go for 16 laps on the hard tyre and run to the end of FP1 pretty much. Right then, that's for Sebastian. Adjustments also being penciled in. Big changes, as Seb's really not happy with the setup. Same strategy, hard tyres, and we're also going to go for 16 laps. Let's get back to it. Another virtual safety car as we're going through adjustments. This time Mick Schumacher is the one who stacked it, and both Haas cars are out of FP1.
That was amazing.
Copy.
Lovely stuff. Great adjustments, straight up to 97% with Sebastian, which is a great foundation to build on. Let's see what Lance has to say, which shouldn't be too far away, hopefully. It's also, I think it'd be in the right sort of ballpark as well, to be fair.
Yeah, it's not bad. I think it's okay.
Not what really I hoped for. I was, hoping for a touch more. So anyway, we'll let them run until the session finishes. So we'll let them just rack up lap times and, just track miles pretty much. Right, so FP1 has finished. Leclerc quickest, Sainz Bottas with penalties due to engine components. Also further down, Mick Schumacher with a penalty, Magnussen as well, and Latifi. So penalties stacking up. Both Haas cars are going to be on the back foot. So this is going to put us already in the mix this weekend, I think. We're going to be looking pretty sharp. P16, P18 for us, hard time, not really too accurate, just making sure we've got the setup right. FP2 though, let's get into it and let's try and improve. Right, Sebastian Vettel on soft tyres for FP2, and also setup wise, I'm pretty confident this will give us a 100% optimal. Oversteer to the left, my gut feeling says it's going to be more to the extreme, everything else is completely in line, and then also 15 laps of fuel, as we're going to get this feedback ASAP, along with conserve on the engine. Right, now this for Lance looks a bit more like it. So optimal on cornering and straight. So based off that, I've made adjustments to keep those in line. So the grate lines up. It's only a slight bit out to the right. The traction also lines up as it was outside of the box before. Now it's slightly inside, and also oversteer, which is bad, is flipped. So everything lines up. This should be hopefully a lot closer to optimal. I wasn't that confident with Lance anyway in FP1, so I'm a bit more comfortable with this. So let's get to work. Gearbox, we're starting to rack up now on Seb's car. As we know, we have got some wear, but we're going to hopefully try and get through this practice, and maybe even FP3, hopefully, with no big issues. VSC, another stack. The question is, who has stacked it? Both of our boys are still circulating.
Now let's look at this. The focus on Sonoda.
And it's Yuki Tsunoda, exact same place as where Magnussen stacked it.
Definite collision there. That's very unfortunate.
At least Crofty was a bit more accurate this time, saying there was a definite collision there.
Yeah, good job with the car.
Copy.
Right, that's a bit more like it. As for Seb, we'll get an update very soon, but Lance in the right direction now setup-wise, which is more encouraging. Okay, so Seb's fully happy. I want Lance to do one more lap, but Seb's fully satisfied. So we've got that locked down. So even if Seb has a gearbox failure now, the only thing we're missing out on is track acclimatization. So hopefully we can just rack up laps now in the medium in the second half of FP2 with Sebastian. Right, so the Lance is a bit of a guessing game. I don't really have many indicators because everything is great. So it's a bit of a guess as whether it's to the right or to the left. I've moved the front wing angle one click to the right and it's made these kind of adjustments. So we'll find out. But this is going to bleed into FP3, I think. We're not going to get 100% in FP2. Both drivers already, Seb's already on track, but we're going to have Lance go out on the medium. And we're going to go for an 18 lap run to close out the session. Great, 96% with Lance now. A bit better, maybe a step in the right direction, but we're going to have to do some more adjustments in FP3 to get it absolutely perfect. I've got both drivers on standard modes now, so let them have a little bit of fun. Also, I've taken off the avoid curbs and also clean air, just to let them see what the pace is a little bit as well, just to see where we are in the pecking order. Right, FP2 finished then. Carlos Sainz with, of course, his penalty, quickest of all, ahead of Perez, Leclerc, Verstappen. Very close, top four around Singapore. Bottas, Magnussen and Schumacher, of course, with the penalties, along with Latifi. We finished in P17 and P18 on the medium. And yeah, overall, positive as we go into FP3.
Here we are, back for another day of Formula One action, where practice wraps up and qualifying unfolds. While many eyes may be drifting ahead to the big race, the teams and their drivers will be fully focused on the task at hand here today. Those who make the most of the free practice sessions will head into qualifying knowing that they've given it their all and done everything in their power to cement themselves a good, strong position on the asphalt tomorrow. Strap yourselves in. This is Formula One.
Right, FP3 time, and for Lance, we're still going to try and figure out where to go. I've brought the camber in by one click to the right, which has given us these adjustments on the brake stability and cornering. So let's see if this does the trick. I'm confident we should get 100% by the end of FP3. Seb's going to go for just one run in this session towards the end to pick up the track acclimatization that he needs to get 100%. Lance is going to go straight away for 2 runs. Another VSC, third one of the weekend, or fourth one actually, I believe.
Now let's watch this. The Alfa Romeo involved in this one.
So Zhou Guan Yu down to turn 14, locks up. That's a super high speed crash. Not ideal for him. Very big. Okay, I know what I've got to do now. I think I know where the optimal is. We've got to change and revert back to the old setup. So we'll waste no time. We'll call Lance in, and then we'll also send Seb out in a moment. So we've moved the camera back to the left, and we've moved the toe to the right by 2 clicks. So braking stability and cornering are now towards where they need to be. If this isn't 100, it's going to be pretty damn close. So yeah, we'll just go back out another set of softs. It just means he'll burn one more set of tyres compared to Seb. Well, to be fair, his old set's on 80%, so we can actually use those again. I think we have to return 2 sets anyway, so we'll just go for a fresh set. Seb, meanwhile, has just gone out for his final run, so yeah, he'll run to the end of FP3 just to get 100% track acclimatization, which he's lacking.
I'm happy with the car.
Copy.
Not quite 100, but 99 will do fine, so there it is. Lance happy. We'll take that. And of course 700, maxed out everything. So happy days. Both drivers out there in standard modes now, just letting them have a little bit of fun in the end of FP3, just to fine tune and see what the pace really is. We're 16th and 17th already with the worn engine, so could be encouraging for us. Could be a decent qualifying. So we know the final order. This time Checo Perez was quickest ahead of Leclerc, Sainz and Verstappen. Top 4 as close as ever. Loads of penalties of course, and further down P16, 17 for us. Everybody on softs, but a much more encouraging pace. And you know, bear in mind, if both Haas cars drop back here, we're going to be like P13, 14. So it's very encouraging, and we've got a fresher engine to arrive yet. So this could be a big qualifying for us. After that though, you can see we've got pretty much maximum scores across the board. 99% for Lance on setup confidence. And yeah, we're ready for qualifying. As much as I want to change the setup for Lance, I know that maximising the toe out fully to the right would give him optimal. I know this is it because it's the only change we can make. I am not going to go for that change. We know this setup works for him, so we'll keep the bonuses as they are. Both drivers are going out on softs. They're going to go for a 3-lap run. We're going to go ahead and also, of course, run their freshest available components. So we'll make sure we have those ready to go. And it should be fun. Lance especially has a bit more of a knackered engine for practice compared to Sebastian. So Lance should have a bit of a pace boost compared to Seb. But both drivers are ready to go. Let's get to work. Both drivers out into Marina Bay. And we're going to see how this goes. It should be fun. Hopefully traffic is the key thing here. So we'll at least get one clean lap in out of the 3 runs that we're going for. Rather than lap number 1, Stroll is going to encounter Zhou Guanyu, which he clears on the back straight. As for Seb, he's going to hit him in sector 3, unless Zhou picks up the pace before Seb arrives, which he does. So that's worked out okay. So Stroll first up. Seb goes 4 tenths quicker, so 39.0 first lap. Lap number 2, Stroll is going to clear Zhou on the back straight, no, just after the back straight. Seb won't have to worry about that. Let's see what the improvements are. Nothing from Stroll, I don't think. I think Seb went a bit quicker. Let's confirm that real quick. Yeah, Seb 38.8, a little bit quicker. To be fair, both drivers did improve slightly by about 2 tenths. One more lap to go. Seb's got Verstappen on a hot lap right behind him, which isn't ideal. I think Seb was probably going to actually hold up Max, to be fair, and he's going to stay in front on this entire run. Neither driver improves though. I think Lance actually did go a fraction quicker, but Seb didn't improve. So first run's done. Back to the garage now. Now then, I'm feeling pretty confident with Sebastian. Stroll is the one. Can we get both cars into Q2? Seb has a bit of a margin in his back pocket. Sainz off the pace again, potentially running a worn engine, so he could be vulnerable. But let's see then. So Lance starts his lap. Sebastian just behind him. I don't think it's going to cost Seb any time. He may even gain a slight toe, to be fair, on this straight right here. Sector 1 though is personal best from each, which is what we want to see. Let's see sector 2. If we get a couple of greens, that's going to make me feel a bit more positive. So let's see into now the Anderson Bridge section for Lance. Looks very tidy so far. Deals with the hairpin. Checker flag drops. Zhou Guanyu has finished his lap. Sonoda as well. They're both out. So Seb is in because I'm pretty confident, yeah, he's going to improve. The question is, can we knock off the McLarens? They're still on laps, to be fair. There is a bit of a gap to the Haas cars, who seem to have brought upgrades this weekend. They look pretty strong. But let's see then. So, Lance Stroll making his way into the end of the lap now, sector 3. McLaren's also crossing the line. We'll ignore the fuel warning. Norris doesn't improve by much, so he could be vulnerable. Lance Stroll up to the line, does improve. Only a tenth. And Seb, I don't think improved by much at all, to be fair. Again, just a little bit disappointing. Not the improvement that I hoped for in that final run. Goes to show fuel load makes no real difference in terms of overall pace. Leclerc quickest. And further down, Lance out in P18. I was hoping for him to maybe get Sonoda and Zhou. He wasn't a million miles away, to be fair. Seb into P15, into Q2 by 300ths, but the gap to the McLarens and the Haas cars is quite large. Definitely a bit of a gap now starting to form to these teams, which isn't encouraging. Sainz did improve in the end, so I think he just had a bad Q1 first run. Now, realistically, we're going to be knocked out in P15 because there's no way we're going to find 3 tenths in Q2. There isn't that sort of evolution with this game. Maybe half a tenth at the most. So yeah, already. First lap on the board, Seb is last. We'll see what the second lap is. It's not great. Mick Schumacher got in his way twice, and the second lap wasn't faster, so that's Seb's first run done. We'll go for an all or nothing Hail Mary on the last one. I hope that something happens. Right then, final run time. Seb will get clear track and the best track conditions. Everybody else went out quite early, so I knew we was safe with Seb. So let's run on board then for the final qualifying lap. We're going to get knocked out. The question is, will it be P15 or anything higher? Kind of hoping that I fumbled their last run a little bit. Seb did get traffic on both laps in the form of Mick Schumacher on an out lap and an in lap, so there should be an improvement, and it's a personal best for Sector. What was his previous lap? Doesn't say. 338. Have a look. What was the previous lap from Sebastian? So it was a 38.7. Not bad, to be fair. We'll see what this one is, though. Checker flag drops. McLaren's not a lot faster. Norris doesn't improve, but the gap is still 0.3. Schumacher improves, but is out. So let's see if Seb has anything left. You can see the gap's just a bit too much, but we'll see. A couple of personal best sectors from Sebastian Vettel. Can we see a bit of magic from the 4-time world champion through the final few more corners? And it's going to be an improvement. Only a half a tenth. Well, there we go. Seb out. P15 as expected. It is what it is. Leclerc setting the pace and finding a fair bit of pace in Q2, to be fair. Nearly a tenth, which is quite a lot. Loads of penalties. And for the race, we will start from P13 as both Haas cars will drop behind us, so that's encouraging. So we're not going to be too far from the points to start off with. It's going to be a question of, do we have the pace? Overtaking will be hard, so P13 doesn't put us too far from the top 10. But the reality is, if we look at the gap and look at the pace, Ocon to Magnussen here, there's 0.6 difference. The Alpines are in a different category to us, and we're nearly a second off the Alpine. So on paper, the best I can hope for is P11, and someone in the top 10 has a bad race. That's about it. Okay, we're ready for the race then, and we have a very simple one stop to go for. The fastest option is a soft hard. Now, because Stroll is a bit further back, we're going for a hard soft with him. We're going to flip the strategy. Seb's going to be on a soft hard, and to be fair, the tyre was very low. We could cut the soft tyre stint short for an undercut, or we could go long and go for an overcut. We've got both options available to us, so depending how the race goes, that's going to be interesting to see. I've underfueled both cars by 3 laps. We're going to try this for the first time ever. I want to see how it works. This should be a decent circuit for it, and yeah, it might give us an advantage in terms of, you know, a lighter car, better performance early on. Seb's in full push, Lance is in a casual push, I'd say, for race start. So let's get into it. Let's see what happens. Leave a like if you've got to enjoy, and also give me your predictions and comments down below.
It's a cloudy night tonight, but otherwise the weather looks good for the race. And there's Sebastian Vettel. They're in the back half of the pack, so they'll need to work hard if they want a podium finish. There's Lance Stroll, down the grid. They're starting in the bottom half of the grid today, so there's a lot of cars between them and the podium. And we're just moments away now. We're just moments away from the Singapore Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Underway then for the Singapore Grand Prix. Having a quick look at the tyres, everybody on softs except for Stroll on hards and Schumacher and Latifi on mediums. So let's see, into turn 1.
No.
Seb into the top 10 as Stroll loses a place down to P16, but Seb right into the top 10, splitting the McLarens.
That's it.
Going up the inside of Ricciardo for P9 here, Sebastian on the charge.
This is good, Lance. Come on.
And he's got it done. Lovely. We can now, I'm going to go standard mode straight away here, but Seb into P9, that's exactly what we want.
Great play there. They've moved up a place.
Also Stroll, P15, has got back ahead of Albon, which is good. Crucial thing here is to try and have Stroll keep up with the pace, if possible, on the hard tyre. It's not going to be realistically that easy, but Stroll will fight back at the end on the soft tyre, so important that he tries to stay in the race as long as possible. But great start from Sebastian, and into the P9 points already, which is what we want. Very important now that we stay in DRS range. So crucial. The pace just isn't there. Seb is already dropping back and can't keep up with the cars ahead.
Happy to push.
Copy.
We'll use more ERS if necessary to stay within a second, but yeah. Seems like the AI in push mode at the moment. So Seb having to use aggressive. Lance also dropping back, so we'll have him push as well. We'll keep an eye on things, see how they progress. So DRS enabled. I've got Seb on deploy, but it's not enough. Stroll though is doing okay.
Just need to push now. Copy. They'll come to us.
Okay, good.
I think Seb might have just nicked some DRS there. Let's find out. No, not quite. The good news, Gasly has dropped out of DRS range, so if we can close out to Pierre, he could be our way forward this race by latching onto the back of him. Stroll does have DRS, so he's done his job, so good boy Lance. Love that from you, mate. This is looking okay at the moment. Just got to make sure we get Seb into Gasly's DRS range. Stroll also within DRS, although he doesn't have the rear flap open right now. We've also dropped Schumacher, who's just overtaken Albon. Sainz also on the fight back. Let's see. Long race. Meanwhile, we've got a lead battle here between Verstappen and Leclerc. Look at this. Absolutely mental, side by side, through the final corner. And Leclerc does get in front as he keeps Verstappen at bay. Seb chilling behind Gasly. Norris dropping back, by the way. So this is interesting. He's got pressure on from Tsunoda and Bottas here. Stroll has lost the DRS range, I've just realised. I've lost track there.
And push.
Yeah.
So we will put Lance back on full push for a lap or so to see if he can close back into Zhou. Change of plan. We'll try and use Schumacher to close up. If he does to get past, then so be it. I'd rather try and save a little bit with Lance if we can. So we're going to full save mode. Meanwhile, Seb still latched on to Pierre here, which is good to see. Carlos Sainz now joining the party. You can see here they're all getting stuck in and trying to get past Stroll. Sainz is going to follow through here. Stroll losing DRS to Schumacher and losing just quite a bit of time overall here. Sainz able to get by though. Meanwhile, Seb's still chilling. Everything looking good on that front. I know obviously Sainz is going to arrive, but we're still on for points here. Here goes Sainz this time. He's going to get it done. And now Magnussen for company. Ooh. Hold the phone. Where is this? Hamilton got a penalty. Verstappen's involved.
And it's more than one car. Let's take a closer look. Now here we see Max Verstappen.
Oh dear, Hamilton, Verstappen. What's happened here? Oh, Hamilton.
There's the hit.
That's a massive shunt, and Verstappen has a right rear puncture. So that's big. Hamilton also with, of course, I'm guessing a missing wing or wing damage and a penalty. So this is marvellous for us, as now you can see Seb is stuck behind Verstappen, and oh my god, no. That's terrible. The timing on that. Seb got screwed so bad. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Damn it. That's not fair. Hamilton to the pit lane, and we've lost DRS on the cars ahead as well. So Hamilton to the pit lane then to serve repairs, but this is bad news for Seb. I've got him on full push here to try and get back within DRS of the cars ahead. It's very important that we get back onto that 5, because that has now become a battle for P6, which is a real shame that we got stuck behind Verstappen the way we did. Come on, Seb, I believe in you, mate. Let's get to work. Got to try and get within a second, which he has done fantastically well.
This is good.
Love your work, Sebastian. Love it. As for Lance, P15 for him now, and I've just
Looks like
noticed.
Aston Martin have just gained a race position.
Yeah, Verstappen
Let's
hasn't
see
pit.
what happened there.
Verstappen,
Let's
I
have a
think,
look.
stayed out.
This was the Aston Martin.
Yeah, Verstappen stayed out. He didn't pit for some reason, so that was odd. Kind of wish I'd started Stroll on the soft tire now. He's just a long way away. Not ideal. You can see the gap on the minimap. It's just massive after just 9 laps. This wasn't the way to go. I had to try though. I know I'm a big fan of splitting strategies. I've done it most races. But obviously, with hindsight, it's a lovely thing. If you'd known what's going to happen in the future, obviously, then you would take that risk. Anyway, we're chilling right now. Everything's looking okay. Lance is doing his own thing. You can see he's got Hamilton, who has just pit for a new wing, and Magnussen for company. So we'll see how long that lasts. I've got him in standard modes. We're just going to go long with Lance and not pit and hope for maybe a safety car or VSC later on in the race. I think that's what I'm going to go for with Stroll. That's all I really can go for. Verstappen finally gets to the pits, but a lap down. But yeah, our focus is on Seb today. That's all we can do, really, unfortunately. So there goes Lewis up the inside of Stroll. Fairly straightforward. And Magnussen now following. And there goes Kevin, getting past Stroll. Easy move, same as Hamilton. Now then, with Seb, I am kind of weighing up my options. I'm a little bit torn as to what to do. Fuel saving is going to be really tough. So what I'm thinking here with Sebastian is we still have tyres, 78%. I think it could be worth a bit of hammer time on an overcut. Because we can't undercut, I don't think it's worth it. I'd rather have better tyres at the end if I could. So let's see what other cars do. But there's, because we've got such good tyre wear at the moment, I mean, compared to everybody else, it could be worth having one lap in actually attack mode or a couple in aggressive. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, Checo in the pit lane. That could be the first sign. Alonso, Russell also pit. This is it then, to the dance is about to begin. Gasly, Bottas in. Right. So we will go attack mode, full push when Ricciardo pits. Once we get unleashed into clean air, we'll commit. We're recharging the batteries right now. So let's go long. So we have Checo behind, who has pit. So this is interesting. On the hard tyres, is Ricciardo going to pit? That's what I want to know. Yes, he does. Right. So let's go for it. Let's see what happens here. We are going to have to use some fuel, which is a bit of a risk.
Use energy. You can use energy.
But this is going to be maybe just a single push lap with Seb. So everybody is on hards at this stage. So Gasly's tucked in behind Lewis. Then there's a bit of a gap to Alonso and Russell. I'd love to be ahead of Hamilton here, but I'm not too certain. Sebastian Vettel, though, is purple in Sector 2, and I think I'm going to keep him out for one more. And we're going to see how it goes. He's pulling away from Checo. This could be a fastest lap from Sebastian, to be fair. And it is. Let's go for one more. Let's try and stretch this. I'm tempted to go for a set of mediums, to be fair. But I think that might be a bit of a stretch. Right, so here's what I'm thinking. Change of plan. This could be our golden ticket. I'm looking at the lap times. Okay, so Perez done a 44.0 last lap. Hamilton 44.4. Gasly 44.4. Alonso 45.7. So if we just latch onto Checo and run at his pace, this could really benefit us. So I'm going to keep Seb on attack. We're going to burn these tyres up, but we're going to try and stick with the Red Bull here and try and stretch this to a medium tyre, which could be decisive in this race. Sebastian re-challenges Perez and gets back past, so let's leave him to it. I think this could work for us. I'll keep an eye on the gaps. Charles Leclerc all over the back of Seb now. Putting the pressure on. We're sticking with Checo though. This is good. What's the last lap? I want to see what the pace is. 45.1. Yellow flag, Sector 2 briefly there. We're still quicker than Alonso, and we're about the same pace as these lot. You can see it's just a massive train.
Someone's gone wide there.
Schumacher hasn't stopped yet, so this is interesting. Gap is 20.5. We'll keep an eye on this gap. This could be decisive. Meanwhile, Seb has now dropped out of range, so we'll just keep burning the tyres up. We're going to keep pushing. Important that we get back to Checo here, so I'm going to push again. This could be race decisive, this Schumacher situation we have right here. Okay, Leclerc has got past. Yeah, we've already lost the RS. Our tyres are shot. Had no real defence there against Leclerc, to be fair. We're gaining on the straights. So we're now looking at the pit stop. Gap to Russell, 22.3. We're faster than George, and we're pulling away from this pack. So let's stay out. This is going okay right now. Although, to be fair, we're no longer the leader, so that's technically not a relevant gap. So, yeah, to be fair, the gap is more like 19 seconds, I just realised. Pace is still okay. 45.7, 45.5. This is a very delicate situation now because fuel's a problem. Stroll I don't really care about. He's going to get lapped. So, technically it's negative 2.6, but Sebastian is in big fuel trouble. Anyway, this is Seb's in lap. I've got him to pit this lap. The mediums do 60 laps. We have about 36 to go, so it should be fine. Worst ways, he rejoins at the back of this trainer cars, but we can hopefully save fuel. So it's a win-win, whatever happens. He's going to be in fuel saving mode now. Right then, let's see. So Seb's going to pit, and fingers crossed, it's effective and efficient. There's Ocon making his way now into the final couple of corners. He's looking pretty nailed on for a podium this race, Ocon, so a fantastic job from him. Seb about to pull into the pit box now. Meanwhile, Russell through the final corner. And there's Gasly. We're going to be a bit further back than I thought, actually. But we'll have mediums to go. So there you go, everyone's gone by us. We're going to be racing Ricciardo here. And Sainz also fighting back into the points. And there we are, just behind Daniel. And I think just out of DRS range, which is a bit frustrating. I'd like to get DRS if possible.
So we just need to push now. Copy that.
We might just nick some DRS here if we're lucky. Yes, we do. Just. Crucial. Now then, what are the tyre rates saying? We're 11% better off than Ricciardo. And about 10% better off than the hard tyre runners. Carlos Sainz looking to go through. And I think he's done it, you know, he has done it, to be fair. I've got 7 fuel saving mode, so I can't do much right now. I am focused on trying to save fuel. We're playing the long game here. We'll fight back at the end if we're lucky. The important thing is that we're running with a car and we're in DRS range at all times. Sainz getting past Ricciardo, as you can see. It's going to help us stay nice and close. Still trying to save fuel, man, but it's becoming a problem. Seb just dropping out of DRS range. We're lacking a bit of pace compared to the big boys. Hopefully Bottas doesn't get by. Ricciardo's latched onto that Ferrari, man. It's bad news for us. Seb needs to push on that tyre a little bit and make some progress, and he does. The margins are so fine. Here comes Bottas. Through on Seb. No DRS. For Sebastian, which isn't ideal.
Made a mistake.
Ooh, okay. We're going to pit Lance in that case, as he has damage. Which isn't ideal. We'll have to do some spares, so front wing spare. I don't think I was going to pit this up though, it's 11 metres away from the pit line, which isn't ideal. We'll just put him into save everything, but this is bad news. Does he have a puncture or anything? We're about to find out. He says that for one more lap. No puncture, just a mistake. And a time penalty. Not ideal. Anyway, VSC. VSC ending soon. So Stroll isn't even going to benefit from his own crash VSC. So yeah, I know where we stand now in regards to underfueling. Maybe one lap underfueling at the most, maybe 2, but that's about it. So yeah, Stroll in the pits, Seb dropping out of the DRS range, just no pace.
Happy to push.
We are slow. We are slow. You know, we are. The reality is we just don't have a car that's there, unfortunately. That's just the way it is. Stroll now serving his penalty, and now he's pit stop. I'm back underway, then with the new front wing. Still going to have rear wing damage, but oh well, it is what it is. Now the good news, Ricciardo has dropped back from Sainz. Schumacher still hasn't pit, so he's going to spice things up here. So I've got to try and stay patient. But yeah, Ricciardo dropping out the DRS range from Sainz is the best thing that could have happened to us because they won't be as strong anymore, so we might have a better chance of keeping up. Oh, and there goes Bottas this time. He's through. So we're going to waste no time. We need to follow Bottas here. We cannot let him go.
Yeah.
So we're going straight to work. Full power modes here. And we're going to hopefully get past Mick ASAP. And that's exactly what we do. And we clear him. I've got battery now, so we can just run standard and a bit of tyres if we need to. But we're going to keep saving fuel here. Ricciardo's only 4 seconds up the road, so it's P9 is not out of the question. It just needs 1 or 2 big push laps to help us get back onto the back of Ricciardo. But I'm kind of hoping Bottas has the pace to pull us here. That's what I'm kind of banking on. So let's see. Seb still has DRS, so he's hanging in there for now, doing a good job. We're closing up to Ricciardo. Gap 2.5. As Ricciardo clears Verstappen for traffic, I believe. Yes, it is. He must have some damage. But this is working. There's going to be a three-way scrap for P9, so we're up for 2 points today. So very important that we get this fuel now, and we're getting close. We're going to make this. We're going to make it. Stroll getting lapped by Hamilton meanwhile. We've got Stroll now on aggressive and standard. He's closing in. He's ahead of Latifi. He's past him, and he's now closing in on Albon. That's the, the primary target. Beat the Williams at least. Let's try and get Lance to get a move here. Full attack mode. Why not? Go on, Lance. Get stuck in some. Get Albon. Make a move. Make yourself famous. There we go. We'll leave him on push for a bit. Let him have a bit of fun. As for Seb, beautiful job. 0.6 to go. We're looking good to make this.
With a great play there. They've moved up a place.
Once we save fuel, we're going to go into battery saving mode, and basically my plan is to just bolt and get them both. That's my ideal plan here. Personal best from Lance Stroll on that lap in full push. The fastest lap from anybody on that last lap. So that's encouraging. Stroll showing a bit of pace, even with damage. We'll now let him just cruise. Okay, switch. Fuel is fine, but I'm happy with that. We should be able to get that back into standard modes alone. We're now harvesting battery to get ready for the overtakes. Okay, bad news. Seb has dropped back a bit. I think he made a small error or something, but he's lost a bit of time, so...
We just need to push now. The tyres are happy to push.
Copy.
We will make him push flat out because we've lost a bit of ground. This is crucial ground which we cannot afford to lose, so we will keep him flat out as long as it takes until he gets back within DRS range. Hamilton in for an extra stop, of course, after that incident early on in the race, so he might actually drop behind us here. Let's see. This could be interesting, actually. So Hamilton, yeah, he's going to be behind us. That's going to move us into the points, so we're now up for P8 in this race. Seb 1.2, 1.3, 1.5. Come on, Seb, let's try and get some DRS, mate. Very critical that we get back within DRS range. I think he might just have it here. Not quite, but he should have it for the next zone. So good response from Sebastian there. Let's just try and close the gap one more time, just to solidify the 1 second margin. I have been saving tyres, so that's going to, help us out nicely. I'm actually going to keep Seb in full push here. Ricardo's dropped back, which isn't good. So we're going to try and get Ricardo and then try to latch onto Bottas if we can.
Drop back a bit.
Hamilton fastest lap. He's going to be chasing, to be fair, so it's important that we do get past Ricardo here and get, onto Bottas. So there we go. Seb through on Ricardo. Easy move. We've got the juice to fight. Now let's try and get Bottas here and drop Ricardo at the same time if possible. Hamilton goes through on Ricardo. I'm just struggling to get within a second of Bottas here. I'm giving up on Bottas. I'm going to go standard modes and just see what happens. Hamilton putting the pressure on now. We could latch onto Lewis. That might be our way back, to be fair. There goes Hamilton. We'll leave Seb on attack and see if that's enough to hopefully keep up. Not too confident though. Right, P10 for Seb, that's what I'm aiming for. We're going to let Ricardo eat into the gap a little bit. We're trying to save fuel. Stroll in for his final stop. This is to go for the fastest lap and secure a bit more of a bonus cash payout. So Stroll back out on track. Ricardo's got no pace and neither has Seb, to be fair. Ricardo's not even catching us, so we're looking okay on that front. So we'll get Stroll ready for a fastest lap on the next lap. There's got a bit of traffic on track right now as well. Oh my god, safety car. Holy crap. Wait a minute. Ooh, this is tricky. Is it worth a gamble? We could pit here and be P11. But if the race gets back underway, I'm going to go for it. Fresh, well, not fresh, 94% soft, but we're going to pit. Under Delta, safety car, we should be P11 ahead of Schumacher. Let's just go for it. Let's take a chance. Why not? Why the hell not? I'll put Seb into full push mode here before we pit because I don't want to lose any time on the in-lap. It's Fernando Alonso.
Let's take a look at the replay. Okay, so there we have the Alpine.
So there's this big battle going on for the points, and Alonso just locks it.
Thank goodness nobody else was involved.
And stacks it. So that was a big shunt, but that gives us a place now. So we're definitely getting points because we'll just be P10 behind Ricciardo. Critical that we rejoin ahead of Schumacher. Ideally, Schumacher's under Delta, so it's kind of a pre-pit stop for us. Schumacher now into the final corner, but Seb already leaving the pit exit. And now we just have to try and save fuel. Even if the race doesn't get back underway, we're going to get a point. So, yeah, let's see if the race sorts itself out in time. Either way, I'd love if we just got one racing lap. And we're not going to get one. Last lap of the race, Perez has just started it, so that's a shame. So job done then in Singapore, and there's your final running order. Seb gets a point. Checo, just like in real life, wins the Singapore Grand Prix. Leclerc also finishes just behind in second place, and then Sainz P3. So the top three exactly the same as the real life race. Ocon also in a phenomenal P4. Russell, Gasly, Hamilton, Bottas, Ricciardo, and then of course us in P10. Schumacher P11, and then Norris, Zhou, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Albon, Stroll, Latifi, Verstappen, and Alonso further back. So yeah, there's your lot. And we survived. We managed to make it on fuel as well, which is really, really good. Now then, Drivers' Championship. A point doesn't change things for us, but it just helps, pull away from Tsunoda by a point. P11 though, looking pretty decent in the Constructors. Again, it's a point again, but McLaren did gain 2 from Ricciardo. So we've got double the points. Hopefully we can try and hold on to that for the rest of the season, but there's your lot. After that, we're going to have bonuses for experience. We get okay points on both drivers. Dragovic doesn't gain anything as he had no practice, but still. Finally though, cash payouts. Lost a bit of cash, but got a few guarantees. Overall, we'll take that. So the next race is in 4 days for the Japanese Grand Prix. Stroll has a development point, so we'll go ahead and invest it in his braking. So that is still his biggest deficiency. That side, we don't have any to spend on anybody else. Okay, Dragovic has one to be fair, so we'll spend it on... We'll go for accuracy. To be fair, adaptability needs a bit of work as well, actually. That's pretty shocking, but I think that will improve with race craft. Elsewhere, do we have any staff development points to quickly invest? The answer looks to be no. So yeah, next race, Japan, and we have our final upgrade of the season, the rear wing, which could just help us boost towards a couple more points for the next couple of races, as we've got a few arriving. So let's see how this goes. Now we have, again, car feedback as always, so Seb's braking performance could work a bit better. High-speed cornering of the car is a deficiency, which we know about. The board are happy, so of course we've got a points finish, so no complaints on that end. Post-race review. Lance Stroll's contract ends soon, and I'll make a decision on this very, very soon. I'll make one very soon. I'm leaning towards keeping Seb and Stroll, and then giving Dragovic a year to fully develop. More confirmation here that the board are confident in us and they're happy. We've got a review in 2 months' time, aka end of the season. And then we have the monthly car report, which you can see we're still kind of, you know, in third tier, 17th, 19th, not the best car. But in terms of performance, we're 15th, 17th, 13th. We're kind of floating in that region. Financials are good, I know that, because we're in profit. But here is the chassis, which of course is an upgrade that is going to also help for next season's car, as this car part doesn't get affected by the reg change. So we're going to manufacture... We're going to go for an emergency. We'll go for an emergency double. Let's just go 4. I don't mind spending them 1.5 mil. Let's just get them all on. Let's get them all on for Japan. We want this upgrade ASAP. Right then, let's install the new chassis. So both cars will get the new one. And fingers crossed, that will be a step in the right direction in terms of outright performance. You can see all the stats are looking a lot stronger. We've invested a lot of wind tunnel and CFD time into this, so hopefully it works out. Either way, guys, we're ready for the next race at Japan. Hopefully we enjoyed the points finish in Singapore. Shame about Lance, wasn't what I hoped for. We've got rain forecast, by the way, for the race on Japan, so that could be pretty spicy. Last time we had a wet race, I think Silverstone, we got a brilliant double points finish. So yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more. As always, check out the 2 videos on screen in a moment. A big shout out also to members for supporting the content. Finally, check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care, and it's goodbye from me.